is Joseph Williams, former senior editor at the U.S. News and World Report. Joseph, great having you. And is the $100,000 fee for H-1B visa petitions a game changer here?
It looks to be, or at least the administration hopes it is. And as usual, whenever Donald Trump does something this sweeping, you kind of have to wonder, who is he trying to help and who is he trying to hurt? In big picture language, the people who are helped the most by these H-1B visas are India and China. Two of the biggest people who export the kind of specialty talent that these visas are designed to bring to the U.S. to help the U.S. become competitive or remain competitive in a highly emerging or highly fast-changing tech industry. So India and China are the two biggest beneficiaries of these visas, rather. And India, we know that Trump is in a beef with Narendra Modi. We also know that he's trying to play hardball with Xi Jinping. So those are the two people that he's looking to hurt. Nonetheless, also scrambling some families of immigrants who have come to the United States to work for 2 or 3 years. He's also trying to help the big tech companies in trying to get them a faster track. In other words, they are able to pay this $100,000 one-time fee to bring in their skilled workers, but very few startups, very few people who have influence or that kind of clout to go to the White House are able to withstand that kind of a first-time payment.
And with wage-based selection replacing the lottery system, are we witnessing meritocracy here?
I would call it pseudo-meritocracy, mainly because we don't know what weights are being applied. We don't know how they're going to be applied, who is going to apply them, and whether or not there'll be honest brokers in between. So meritocracy always is kind of a squishy subject with the White House these days, and I would say we'd have to wait to see if it is really a meritocracy or just one in name only.
And Joseph, how will small businesses and nonprofits, especially nonprofits, survive when they're forced to compete with tech giants in this arena?
Well, I mean, the short answer is not very well. I mean, few people have the kind of deep pockets that pay $100,000 for an employee that may be here 2, 3 years, maybe 4, who knows. But it's a one-time expense that a lot of small companies, startups, and nonprofits can't really. They don't have those kind of deep pockets. It's not designed to help them. It's designed to give a leg up to some larger corporations, and it's also designed to send another message on immigration, and that Trump is trying to crack down and try and promote more Americans for these jobs. But the big problem there is that the United States, one of the main reasons why we have these visas, is the U.S. is not producing nearly enough people in the kind of skilled jobs, or that can do the kind of skilled jobs that foreign experts can. I'm thinking about the raid on Hyundai. We had people coming from Korea who knew how to do this, who knew how to establish and step up a company. We don't have those kind of workers. According to OECD stats, we're 26th in math in the world and 10th in science in the world. Those are not the kind of numbers where a U.S. education system will produce the number of people who can do these jobs, number one, and number two, have that kind of quality that can do them as homegrown applicants to these jobs. So I think it's all very much message sending, but whether or not the message sending will hurt the American economy or American competitiveness, I think in the long run could be a problem here.
And Joseph, do you think this visa overhaul reshapes immigration?
I do and I don't. I mean, I think that, again, it's going to sharply restrict the number of people who are coming over from India and China to do the kind of tech jobs that are going to keep American companies competitive. At the same time, it's going to hurt smaller companies. I think it's going to send a message on immigration that if you aren't already here and you don't already have one of those visas, your odds of getting one are shrinking. In other words, you'll have a tougher time, more competition trying to get in those jobs that can pay this $100,000 fee, and you'll have less likelihood of finding that job and having a company that will be able to pay that kind of money to bring you and perhaps your family, if you're from India or China or elsewhere, over to the U.S. to try to do the kind of jobs that the United States does. I think it's, like a lot of what Trump has been doing, the message is kind of incoherent. And I think that's what kind of set off the kind of panic that we saw at airports and in other countries, telling people either to rush back to the United States before this starts or stay in the United States, cancel any plans you had to visit relatives, friends, or family to make sure that you're established and that you're not going to get kicked out of the country.
Joseph, let's look longer term, right? What happens to the country if its skilled immigrant pipeline finds rules tilted toward big employers?
Well, it's not anything good. Again, we depend on these workers to keep the United States competitive because we ourselves are not producing enough people that can do this kind of work at this level. Our math scores are terrible. Our science scores aren't all that hot. And if you look at the moves to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, nothing good portends out of any of this. While the U.S. Department of Education was basically a policy advisory thing, it had ways of encouraging local districts to produce or to invest more in math and science education. And now with that gone, and without the ability to import or easily import or inexpensively import workers to the tech sector, to high-tech jobs, it is not going to bode well for the country economically. And immigration-wise, it sends another discouraging message to people who might want to come to the United States to either seek their fortune or establish themselves in a high-tech career that can not only help our country, but can help them as individuals contribute to our country and pay back in taxes and in entrepreneurship. That kind of thing is not going to help very much at all.
Joseph Williams, thank you for your time and insights.
My pleasure.